Okay, so did you completed your S3 practicals? Completed that policy? Which one is pending? Everything done. Which one? Your is incomplete. How about you? Rest. Rest everything done, na? Super, super. How about online? Online. How about your S3 practicals? Mm, mm. Oh yeah. Mm. But apart from COTS, just give me a second. Okay, so looks like I didn't uploaded the COTS index.html file, even though I kept it ready, but I uploaded only the task, but forgot to upload zip file. That's fine. That's fine. I'll upload that today. Those who have not done COTS, complete it. And also I gave another one, like I asked you to create 2 IAM users, test 1, test 2, and then 2 buckets. Remember? And then user 1 should be able to access only user 1 bucket. User 2 should be able to access only user 2 bucket. So how do you achieve that? Using IAM policy or bucket policy. So that also you have to do. That is there in the task. And also there is something called S3 browser. Did you download it? S3 browser. Okay. S3 browser is a tool. So have you not gone through the task? So what you can do is, when you have a lot of work in S3, you need to go to log into AWS console, go to S3 console dashboard, create bucket, upload, download. So you need to click on multiple things, correct? Instead of that, to easily accessible S3, there is a tool which is free. The tool name is called S3 browser. What is that? Write down S3 browser. What is the tool? It's a free only. S3 browser. Download that S3 browser and install it on your laptop. Okay. S3 browser, download it and install it on your laptop. See guys, when you open that S3 browser, it will ask add account. It will ask add account. Click on that add account and it will ask access key and secret key. Provide your access keys and secret key. If you click on submit, all the S3 buckets, whatever you can do it on S3 console, you can do it from the tool only. You can do it from the tool only. So it is just for time saving purpose. Those who have a lot of work in real time in S3, like developers and those who are all working on S3, they don't generally go to S3 console because there are a lot of clicks are there. But here in the tool, just drag and drop, whichever you want, you can do it everything from the tool. It looks very nice. It's freeware. Just try it out today. And there is a question, Ravi. So yes, Harsha, it is CRR. Who is that? COTS is different. Pawan, it is CRR. And working progress, Ravi Kumar. Sir, I have observed a S3 bucket created by Beanstalk and I'm unable to delete it. So what you need to delete it first? Policy, bucket policy. Ravi Kumar, first you need to delete the bucket policy and then empty and then delete it. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so those who have pending on S3, pending task on S3, please take your time and do it. No hurry. Okay. So today let's jump on to the next one, next service. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So you know very well that we are talking about the storage services, right? S3 we did, right? And then let's take about the next very easiest storage service. So one volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances at the same time generally? No. But there is one category. Which one? Which EBS type? Which EBS type can be attached to multiple EC2 instances? No. IO1, IO2. IO1, IO2. How many machines? 16 machines. Remember? So that is on the volume side. But if I want to share the data, if I need to have a shared storage, then what is the service that we need to take care? Which one? EFS. Which one? EFS. Remember EFS? So generally you have EC2 instances, Nana, and you have 3 EC2 instances. And individual EC2 instances have its own volumes. If you put data in first volume, the same data will be available in the second volume? No, because volumes are individual to the EC2 instances. But if I need to have a shared storage, then what is the service? EFS. What is the service? EFS, Elastic File System. So today, Elastic File System is very, very simple one, easiest. You will do it just few minutes. Maybe I'll take time to explain you, but it'll take few minutes to complete that EFS. Let's focus on that. Ready? So just to remind you, on our starting days, I already draw the diagram. So I'll put the diagram again. So first what you need to do is, okay, I'll take one EC2 instance. Let me ask few questions on EFS first of all. What is full form of EFS? Elastic File System. Okay. EFS works on which protocol? Ancha. Huh? Okay. Go back to your that overview page. And I'll give you 1 minute. Just read about the EFS and I'll ask the questions. And by the way, in one of the telegram, uh, one of the students said, Ria said, don't give notes. Do you agree? Huh? There are few people. Yeah, go through that entire EFS concept. I'll ask the questions. Notes and everything. I don't know about online people. If you come to offline, everyone have their individual books and everything is written on the book. And everything is written on my paints. Every day you're taking the screenshots. And that I told you, take that screenshot and write it in your book in your free time. Correct? Because if you do that, you will learn. If I give directly PPTs or PDFs, tell me honestly, will you go through it? No. If I ask you to take the screenshot of the paint and write it in the book, definitely will write it. When you're writing, you will learn a lot. So that is the logic. Some people doesn't have brain and they'll put this kind of messages in the public forums. So those who are my students, those who know me very well, they will fight with the comments. They'll argue with that. Yeah. Done? Have you gone through it? Ready now? Come back to your normal page. I'll ask the questions now. You guys are genius. No need to worry. I'll ask questions. You'll answer. See. So EFS, Elastic File System. EFS is global or regional? Huh? What, sir? First question only ulta. Huh? Global or regional? ఎందుకు సార్ నన్నే చూస్తారు ఇప్పుడు Did I say global? Then it is regional only. So EFS is regional. So I remember in our school days, you will read everything in the questions in the textbook. When sir come and ask the question, Arey, where is in the textbook? Sir asked one questions. Okay. So fine. That's a good start. So EFS is completely managed by AWS. EFS is limited or unlimited storage? Unlimited storage. And EFS is for what based operating systems? Only Linux. For Windows, EFSX. For Windows, EFSX. So this EFS works on which protocol? NFS version 4 protocol. And then can you attach this EFS to multiple EC2 instances at the same time? Yes. Across availability zones? Yes. So if you have EC2 instance in 1A, another EC2 instance in 1B, so the same EFS can be attached to multiple EC2 instances across availability. That's it. It's very simple. So whatever we have discussed, we'll just do the practicals on it now. So I assume that I have one EC2 instance, which is in 1A. And what is type of machine is this? Linux. And it has its own volume, correct? Okay. So what I do is now, whatever data I put it inside the volume, whatever the data, I log into it and I'll put the data inside the volume. And if I put this data inside this volume, the same data will be available on the other machines? No, because this is a root volume individual, independent or dependent on the EC2 instance, right? So if I want to have a shared storage, then what I need to create? EFS I need to create. Okay. So what I do, I create an EFS and I will mount. What is the word I'm using here? Mount. What is the word, Nana? Mount. So mount concept will be mostly is for Linux machines. So I'll create an EFS. This is the EFS. And I will mount to the EC2 instance. So how to mount it? What are the things that I'll tell you soon. So now I mounted it. And then once I mount it, mount is nothing but another here mount point will be created, correct? Like how we have in Windows C drive, D drive. When you mount your pen drive, a temporary mount will be created, no? E drive, F drive, like that. Similarly, here also one of the mount will be created, and you go inside the mount point, and whenever you put the data will sit inside the EFS. Yes or no? So now what I do, I launch one more EC2 instance. I launch one more EC2 instance. This is in 1B, of course, Linux machine only. It has its own volume. We are not talking about the volume. So Nana, same EFS I'm mounting to this EC2 instance today. Same EFS I'm mounting to the EC2 instance. Now you tell me, when I log into this EC2 instance and go to the mount point, should I see the same data of this machine and this machine, the same data? Yes or no? That is the purpose of the EFS, because it is a shared storage. It is a shared storage. So how many machines you can attach to one EFS? Thousands of machines you can attach. So is it possible for me to give the practicals on 1,000 machines? No. How many machines I can show? 2 machines are fine. So what is our first task here? First what I do, I'll create a EFS first. Very easy. I'll create an EFS. What is the second thing, Nana? Launch EC2 instances. Launch EC2 instance and mount the EFS. Mount the EFS. Okay, mount the EFS. I'll tell you how to mount it. Okay. Then create some sample files in the instance in mount point. Correct? And where it is getting saved? In the EFS. To recheck this, what I'll do, I launch another EC2 instance, launch another EC2 instance, and mount the EFS. And what I need to do, check the same files are available or not. Because it is shared, it will be available definitely. That's it. That's it. We need to do it. Okay. So we have few commands, Nana, here. What is the protocol that we are using here? NFS protocol. Which protocol? NFS protocol. So in order to work on this, of course, we have the security group here, right? In security group, what is the protocol that I need to allow? NFS. Of course, SSH also. SSH in order to log into the EC2 instances. NFS meaning to work with the EFS. Okay. As we are working on the EFS, you need to install one small utility in your machine. Once you log into the EC2 instance on the Linux machine, so what is the command to install? Yum install. So yum install nfs minus utils minus y. Say that. Whenever you are working with NFS, what is the utils that you need to install? NFS utils. How to install NFS utils? Yum install nfs minus utils minus y. Minus y can be before also, after also, anywhere it is fine. So if I ask a question, what is I'm using NFS, what is the utils that you need to install? NFS utils you need to install, otherwise your NFS will not work. So Nana, in the machine, I have installed the NFS utils. Then, like in your laptop, you will attach the pen drive, Whenever you attach the pen drive, a default temporary mount point will be created, like E drive, EF drive, like this. So that's a directory in the backend. So here also, this EFS, we need to mount it to one directory, because this is a Linux machine. So mount point, this EFS you need to attach it, mount it to one directory. So for that, I'll create a directory in the Linux machine. What is the command to create a directory? mkdir. So I'll create a mkdir, a directory called EFS. That name can be anything. I'm just giving a name called EFS. Now what I need to do, I just created a directory. Now I need to mount my EFS to this directory. I need to mount EFS to the directory. So what is the command to mount? Read it. Mount -t nfs4. Whenever you create a file system will give the DNS name. EFS. Whenever you create a EFS will give you the DNS name. That DNS name you need to put it here. So that is called file system ID. File system ID. You need to put it here. : and you're mounting to where, Nana? To which directory you're mounting this? EFS/. So this is a command that you need to put it. Read it. How to mount it? Mount -t nfs4 file system ID : space EFS/. That syntax is very important. If you miss one of the syntax, you cannot mount it. So for that reason, I'm asking you to repeat. Can you repeat one more time, please? Mount -t nfs4 file system ID : space EFS/. Now, without seeing that, look at me and answer it. Tell me. Mount -t nfs4 file system ID : space EFS/. Understood? Now, this entire file system is mounted to which directory? EFS directory. Now we need to go inside that directory, no? So what is the command to go inside the directory? Change directory, CD. Right? CD EFS, we need to enter. If you enter CD EFS, now you are into that EFS. EFS is nothing but it's a mount point to our EFS, actual EFS. So now here I create a sample files. Once you create a sample files, it will be stored in where, Nana? Where it will store? EFS. Should we do this? So what is everyone understood? So can you read the commands? What is the first thing that we need to install? Install nfs utils -y. That is first thing. What is the next? mktr EFS. Well, we need to create one directory. What is next? Mount minus T NFS for file system ID / space EFS /. Now we need to enter into the EFS directory. CD EFS. So now you are indirectly into the EFS. Now you create some files and all the files will be stored inside the EFS. After that, what we do, we launch one more EC2 instance and we'll run the same commands and we'll see if the same data is there or not. If it is able to see the same data, that means data is shared. Online, is it clear, Nana? Should we jump on the practicals? So create EFS. After this, in security group, what is the protocol that we need to allow? In security group, NFS and SSH. Okay, so let's log in. Okay, what's the first thing? We need to create a EFS. So let's go to EFS. Do you see this here? We have the EFS. Go inside the EFS. Okay. And by the way, I said EFS is regional. EFS is regional. So Amazon EFS, scalable, elastic, cloud native, NFS file system. What type of file system is this? NFS. So what is the first thing that we need to create here? Create file system. Create file system. And what is the name, Nana? 9 AM EFS demo, I will say. Sir, can we make EFS as read only to one instance and give full access on another instance? So now you will get that option, Sandeep. See. So now we have given the name and it should be inside the VPC. So should I create or customize? Remember, we always go inside the customize so that we can learn more. If you click on create, nothing we will learn. So let's click on customize. So you have given the name, file system, regional, or you need to go for one zone. Regional. I'll tell you the difference between regional one zone. Regional meaning how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? 3 availability zones. So this EFS will be available for all our 3 availability. If you launch one EC2 instance in 1A, EFS is available. 1B, EFS is available. 1C, EFS is available. But if you want EFS to be available only in one availability zone, like only in 1A or 1B or 1C, then go for one zone. If you select one zone, in which availability zone that you want the EFS. So which one is better? Regional is better. And automatic backups, obviously. So EFS is unlimited. So AWS will take automatic backup. Do you need backups now? Not required. Uncheck it. Remember in S3, we discussed about lifecycle management, LCM. What are the storage classes? Standard frequently access, standard infrequently access, correct? There are many, mainly these two. So now in EFS also, we have this concept called LCM topic. If see EFS, in EFS, you have so many files and directories, so many files. Is it necessary that every file is being accessed every day, frequently? No, there are few files which has never been accessed. There are few files that they are once in a month they'll access. There are few files they'll access regularly. So assume now you have few files which is not been accessed for so many months. Unnecessary, why you are keeping it in frequently access? Can you move it to infrequently? If you want to move it, do you see? Transition into infrequently access. How many days? If your file is not being used for 1 day, 7 days, 14, 13 like this, you have all the days. So based on your requirement, put it. If you put, let's say, for example, 30 days, what will happen? If any file is not being used for 30 days, that file storage class will be moved to infrequently access automatically. And now, next one here is transition into archive. Obviously, after 30 days, if it is not even being still used, then move it to archive mode. Okay, once, just in case, if someone try to access that file, again, it has to come back to frequently accessed. So here, transition into standard one time for on first access. If you access that file, which is there already in infrequently access, then automatically it will be moved to frequently access. So if you want like this, you need to go with these options. Otherwise, not required. But in real time, I would recommend to go with this because you will save the cost a lot. You understood this topic now? Lifecycle. So here I'm just putting none. None. Do you need now anything? Not required. And then encryption. Your EFS obviously works on encryption can be done in two ways. What are those? In transit and data at rest. What is that? One more time. In transit and data at rest. Now EFS, where the data is just sitting. So is it in transit or data at rest? See here. Enable encryption of data at rest. If you want, enable it. Otherwise, not required. And then here you have performance settings of your EFS. One is we call it a throughput mode and performance mode. What are the two modes we have? Throughput mode, performance. Throughput meaning, let's say I have Chandan here. How much fast I can reach the data from me to Chandan? That is called throughput. How much fast the data is traveling between the source and destination. And performance meaning how much Chandan is giving the performance. Chandan is EFS. I'm EC2 instance. I'm connecting to EFS. So how fast the data should transfer is throughput. How good performance that EFS is giving is performance mode. So I would recommend to go with the elastic because automatically based on your load, it will give the performance. Here also go for performance mode, general purpose. So maximum IO is grayed out because whenever you select provision, then maximum IO will be enabled. So which one is recommended on here? Elastic, because based on your load, automatically the performance will be modified. Is that clear? That's it. Is it clear, Nana, everyone? On the step number one? Step number one, give the name, regional, lifecycle management, no encryption, and keep it default. Clear? Now click on next. Network. Obviously, EFS should be inside the VPC. And now you tell me EFS should be can be attached to which availability zones? 1A, 1B. Do you want 1C? Not required, no? So just turn it off. Because we are not launching EC2 instance in 1C. Now click on next. This is completely what? Optional. So someone is asking read-only purpose. Do you see? Prevent root access by default. So because you are the owner, everyone will have the root access. So if you want to prevent the root access, just select it. Automatically a policy will be created. And if you want read-only access, select this. Your EFS will be read-only access now. Prevent anonymous access. That meaning no one without authentication, no one can access it. And data is traveling from EC2 instance to EFS. That is what type of encryption I can do there? In transit. So you see, enforce in transit encryption for all the clients. So if you want all these things, select all these things in real time. Now is it required? No. So just uncheck it. But it's just a matter of check. Okay, Nana? So automatically the JSON file, JSON script, JSON policy will be created for that. Understood? Someone is asking for read only. Is that clear? Sandeep? Okay. Now, do we need to select anything here? No. So just select, just it is optional. Now click on next. That's it. So now I'll cancel it and will you tell me? Huh? Ready? Yeah. Okay, I'm canceling it. Create file system and give here name EFS demo. Next. Customize. Regional. Uncheck. Keep it. None. Uncheck. Enhanced. General purpose. Tell me what I need to do next. You should tell me, no? Next, click next, sir. Remove one C. Next. Here. Next. Okay. Here. That's still understood. So explaining will take little bit time, but practice just like that because we already learned about the EFS before, right? So okay, Nana. So now EFS is getting created here. Let it create. So once you go inside this, and do you see the DNS name here? This is a DNS name, file system ID. Okay, now EFS is created. Now what is the next step? Launch EC2 instances. Should we go and launch? EC2. Go there. Okay, instances. Launch instance. How many EC2 instances I launch? One. We launched two, but now, okay, let me go and launch first. I have one EC2 instance in which availability zone? 1A. Another one, 1B. Why I'm putting in two different availability zone? Because I want to show you EFS can be attached to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. So I call it as EFS demo 1. I'll call it as 2 there. Okay. Which one? Like that. Okay. T2 micro. Edit it. Sir, now this is Jujube, sir. Huh? Yes or no? Okay. So here, do you see 0 into file systems are there? So you can edit it and select that 9 AM EFS demo. Directly, you will get it here. But you don't learn much if you do like this. So what I do is I'll manually show you how to attach it. Okay. Otherwise, this is very easy. Edit it and select it. But don't do that here. And click on launch instance. Should I launch one more EC2 instance to save our time? And I launch it in 1B. So why I'm waiting? Launch more like this. So now it is running. So I'll just go with here, launch more like this. I call it as 2. Select this and I put it in 1B. And then launch. Good. So 2 are getting launched. So meanwhile, what is the next step? Security groups. Fantastic. Go to security groups. And then here, inbound rules, edit. Here, I don't need HTTP, RDPs. SSH is there. IP is not changed. Add rule. And here, which one? This NFS here. My IP. Save rules. Okay, so the machines are coming up, and let's say my EFS is ready. So my EFS is also available, and how much size that we have at the moment? It is only 6 KB. There's nothing. There's some sample files, not sample files. Some hidden files will be there because it's a file system. Monitoring you can do, and then file system policy. Remember policy we have selected, no? Root access, prevent root access, all the things you can do. Louder. Access points will come throughout the services. So I want you to complete the access points. Okay. And then here we have network and the mount points are available now. And replication. EFS we have set up in which region? Mumbai. Let's say, for example, you have another setup in another region. Let's say you have setup in Ireland. I mean, setup meaning infrastructure setup, right? So I had to be very clear. Sorry for that. So you have another infrastructure setup in the another region. So whatever the data that you're putting, whatever the data you're putting in Mumbai EFS, if you want the same data to be replicated in another EFS in another region, then go for replication. So here, just click on create replication. Which region you select? You have where? Ireland? You, oh, you have in Canada? Okay, nice. Melbourne also. Only white people, huh? Ah. So whichever that you want, select. If you want to create, replicate to new file system or replicate to existing file system, select it and then create it. So if you want, you can just go for like a replication point of view. Okay, so my everything is ready. My machines are also ready. Should I go and log in? Yes, take it. So appearance, connections. So I'm logging in. Okay, Nana, what is the username? EC2 minus user. And first thing is sudo minus yes. Okay, so you tell me what are the commands that we need to do? What's the first thing that we need to do? Yum install minus y nfs minus utils. Okay, na? Enter. Does the EC2 instance, from the EC2 instance have internet access? Yes or no? Obviously, yes. Then only we are able to install all this thing. Otherwise, no. Okay. NFS utils are done. I'm clearing it. What's the next step? mkdir EFS. Now I need to mount, no? What's the command to mount? Mount. I asked you to repeat mount minus T NFS4 file system ID. So I go here to here, copy the DNS name, put it here, colon, slash, space, EFS slash. EFS can be anything. Directory name can be anything. So I mounted it. Now go inside it. CD EFS. Now indirectly where I am now? In EFS. I mean EFS. So should I create some sample files? What is the command to create some sample files? Touch. So touch, let's say hello.txt file, for example, or mkdr Chandan or mkdr Harish. Do you see this? Okay. So now I have these files. Where are these files are getting stored? In the EFS. Is it on EFS or is it on EC2 instance? It is on the EFS, not on the EC2 instance. So because we are mounting it to which directory? EFS directory here. If you have not done CD EFS, then you are into the EC2 instance. So you need to go to that mount point. So now I have launched this. I have set up this on my first machine. Should I log into the second machine and check now? Ready? So I'll open another terminal and IP address, copy it, paste. Credentials like this, open, accept, and then EC2 minus user, and then sudo minus s, and then install minus y nfs minus utils. Okay, na? Okay. After that, mkdir EFS. Yes, Sandeep, for both the EC2 instances, EFS will be read-only. After that, mount -t NFS4. No. So go to the here, copy it, and :/EFS/ enter. Now CD EFS. Okay. Now I do S. Now I do LS. Do I see the same data? Okay. LS I did here. LS. Do you see the same data? So same data can be shared to the multiple EC2 instances now. Can I use that? Can I use that data on the second machine? Can I use this data for same machine? Okay. Now I'll do this. mkdir. Who is that? Avinash. Okay. LS. Avinash is created. If I do LS here, Avinash is there. Okay. So here, if I create something, hello, okay, touch hi.py file. So hi.py is there. And if I do ls, hi.py. So data is shared. So if you want to restrict the permissions and all, then you need to know the Linux topics. So in Linux, you have the permissions concept, no? Read, write, execute. So those whoever you want to give access, give the access. Those who don't want to give the access, don't give access. From AWS point of view, those who want to give permissions, then go ahead with the policies types. So let's say I'm there. I want to access EFS. Yes, give the permissions. If Chandan is there, Chandan doesn't want to access EFS, don't give the permissions to him. Simple as that. Is it clear, Nana? EFS? Simple? That's it on EFS. Is there anything else here? So if you go inside it, so how much data it is here, how much size in standard, how much size in IA, how much size in archive will get to know. Monitoring you can get to know. And file system access points, network. And if at all you want replication, go ahead for the replication. So here also we have few things. This is new services not related to EFS. So what is this here? Read it. Data sync. Say that. AWS data sync, AWS transfer. Did we discuss about this in the overview also? Yes or no? No. But good thing is, for this batch, I'll also teach those services. Okay? Right? That is completely new service. And then this is also related to the storage service. Right? I'll be going through these topics also. To another new services. What are those? AWS transfer and AWS data sync. Should I or not? No one said thank you. Online are just I'm just sitting now. So you are getting extra. Okay. You're getting extras. Good. So let's finish it. So can you complete these practicals on the CFS, Nana? So once you're done with this, what we need to do? Delete it completely. So if it is the FSX cannot be done here now because I'll tell you. I'm terminating the machines. FSX is for what type of operating systems? Windows operating systems. So FSX, file system, how many you have? And you have multiple, X meaning multiple. So why I am not covering that is FSX required Active Directory. FSS required Active Directory. Active Directory is free for us? No. But did we discuss about Active Directory concepts? Right? So just quickly I'm showing here. You have multiple file systems for Windows. See, FSX. Go here. And do you hear also concept called create file system? But you have multiple file systems. What are this? FSX for NetApp. So those who are experienced people there, those who work on storage level, they know this is a beautiful storage application that we have in on-premises. I also used to work in NetApp, ONTAP, this one. And you have OpenZFS, and this is for your Windows file server. And also you have Lustre. This is also different type of file system. So based on your requirement, you need to select one of the file system and create it, and then mount it, use it. Let's say, for example, I selected the Windows file system. So click on next. So here, quick creator, standard creator. Quick shortcuts, we don't like that. So let's learn perfectly. So go for standard create. And you want your FSX2 in multiple availability zone, single availability zone. Select that. And then here, how much size is your EFS is unlimited, no? But FSX is not unlimited. You have here 65,536 GB. So how much GB that you want? Put it here. And then blah, 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 blah. What is this? Windows authentication. Here you need to have a directory. You need to have a directory. For that reason, I'm not able to do it. But do you just once you have the directory, select this and click on next. And what is there? Next, specify file system details, and then create it. And then mount it to your Windows file system. So if at all you get an opportunity to work on this on real time, so this is the way how you need to do it on FSX. Okay, now. So from certificate point of view, I don't think so you will get certification questions. Just in case, read this read this like this. Okay, so that will have a good knowledge on it. Okay, Nana? Okay, so as we have even a good lot of time, so let's jump on to the next service. Okay, which is really, really useful for you. Okay, till now we are doing it from the console. How many ways to access AWS? 2 ways. What are those? Console access and programmatical access. In programmatical access, what is the example that we took? CLI. You have CLI, SDKs, other developer tools. Now let's talk about CLI. So now I'll show you. Till now, we have launched EC2 instances from console. We have created S3 buckets from the console. We did everything from the console. So I will show you now how to do it from the command prompt, CLI. How do you configure it? How do things will be done? Everything I'll show you now. Ready? Online? Ready, Nana? Should we move on? So, so you know very well there are multiple ways, 2 ways to access AWS, correct? Let us start from there. AWS access. How many ways are there? 2 ways. What are those? Console access, that is your GUI, whereas programmatical access, which is command line interface. And how you are logging to the console? Using username and then password. And how do you log in or authenticate? Using access and super access and secret keys. Access key, secret key. How many access keys and secret keys you can have per user? Oh, nice. So access keys and secret keys. Okay, Nana. So whenever you create an IAM user, every IAM user will have how many types of access? 2 types of access. Every IAM user has how many types of access? 2 types. One is console access, another one is programmatical access. So for new person, those who have joined your project, which type of access will you recommend to give? Console. So once he is familiar with it, then you can go and create the CLI. CLI is nothing but access keys and secret keys. Is it mandatory to have access keys and secret keys? No, it's not mandatory. No, whenever you need, go and create the access keys and secret key for the user. Okay. So here I have IAM user. Now, see, IAM user, I have given EC2 permissions. And this IAM user has two types of access. One is console and another one is programming. So can you tell me, whenever he log into console, what kind of service that he can access? EC2. Whenever he go to the CLI, what kind of services he can access? EC2. So for programmatic access, console access, the permissions are same. Permissions are same. The only thing is, okay, which is your favorite service till now? EC2 only, no? So which is your favorite service? EC2. For everyone, EC2 only. Yeah? Okay. S3 also, you liked it. Okay. So let me hear from your online guys. What is your favorite two services till now? ELB will come under EC2 only. EC2 and S3. So, okay, let's do one thing. I'll take your two favorite services, EC2 and S3, and I'll show it from the command line. By the way, from CLI, you can use any service, yes or no? Is it possible for me to show you each and every service? No. So for that reason, the most two common services I'll teach you. One is EC2. Let's say, for example, how to launch EC2 instances from CLI. How to create buckets from the CLI. That I'll show you. Okay. So before that, if you remember, if you want to access CLI, what is the software that you need to install on the machine? AWS CLI. Fantastic. AWS CLI. This AWS CLI you need to install. No. See, AWS CLI, the CLI meaning, is it only on the Linux? It will be on Windows also. Windows also, no. Linux, anyways, it is CLI. On Windows also, we have command prompt, no. What is command prompt? CLI only, no. So in Windows, till now we are using browser. But in Windows, you have the command prompt, this one. CMD, this command prompt. From here also, I can run AWS commands. So this will become CLI also. Yes, this will become also a CLI. So that meaning on Windows operating system, you need to install AWS CLI software. On Linux operating system also, there also you need to install AWS CLI. So AWS CLI need to be installed on both Windows and Linux. So I'll write it here. AWS CLI can be installed on Windows and Linux as well. Okay, so for Windows, there is a software called AWS CLI.msi file. What is that file? AWS CLI.msi file. Say that. AWS CLI.msi file. So this is the file that you need to download from internet, and you need to just, that is MSI file or exe file will be there. How do you install? Double click, your favorite. Next, finish it. That's how you need to install, right? That is on the Windows. For Linux, is there any option called next? No. So what you need to use commands to install AWS CLI. So how to install AWS CLI on Linux also, I'll show. On Windows also, I'll show. You're getting it? Online, you getting it, Nana? Okay. So now I assume this big bloody thing is AWS here. Okay, this is AWS. And you are here sitting with the laptop. You are in the internet, yes or no? Internet or company, wherever you are. So if it is internet, directly you are connecting to the internet. If you're in company, how you are connecting to AWS? Using VPN. Very good. Okay, so this is your Windows laptop. Everyone has Windows laptop, yes or no? So Windows, everyone has Windows laptop. So from your laptop, how many ways that you are accessing AWS? Two ways. One is CLI, another one is console access. Okay. This is AWS console. Okay. How you're authenticating using the console? Using username and password. So what you're doing, you're opening the browser and you're using it. That is one way from your laptop. What is the another way, Nana? CLI. What is the full form of CLI? Command line interface. I no need to write, no? Okay. So it is a CLI. So you'll be using command prompt. Using command prompt. There are two ways to access. So how you're authenticating using? Using keys. Where? On your laptop, on the CLI. So this is your Windows laptop. You open CMD. From here also you can access AWS services through commands. But you need to authenticate, no? So how do you authenticate? Using keys. So there are authentications is same on the Windows also, on the Linux also, because both are CLI. So how do you authenticate? First of all, you need to install AWS CLI. Oopsie. So install CLI. You know what is the command to configure your keys first? Say that AWS configure. Say that, Nana. City Online, put it. What is the first command? AWS configure. So you need to, once you install AWS CLI, AWS commands will get identified. So now you need to type AWS configure. Then it will ask, Babu, give access key. Babu, give secret key. Babu, which region you are? Which region that you want? Should I put Mumbai? AP minus South minus 1 you need to put. Then it will ask, Babu, what type of output you need? Because you are giving the command and the CLI will give the output, no? So in which format you want this output? You want it in JSON or you want it in XML or you want it in table format? Which one you want? Table format. XML, you can't understand. JSON, that key value pair, like how we have IAM policy, it will show like this. Table meaning dabba, rows, columns, everything neatly it will show. So which one is comfortable for you? Table. Or you can go with the JSON also, whoever like it, configure it. This is how you need to configure the keys. Like here, AWS configure. But do you have AWS here? AWS is recognized on this machine? No, that meaning what is the software that I need to install? AWS CLI.msi I need to install. How? Go to Google and say AWS CLI download Windows. And do you see this here? The first one, documentation. Linux, Mac OS, Windows. Open that. And do you see this MSI file? Click it. Download it. And then open it. And then, let's go. Next. All right. Next. Install. Yes. You don't even read it. What is that? Right? Just go ahead and click on yes. So this is the link I'm sharing. Take it and put it somewhere. I mean, put it in the Google Classroom. Somewhere store it, man. Why you are taking it offline, people? I'm so sorry. So what your dirty minds? I mean, put it in Google Classroom or save it somewhere so that other people can also access it. So click on finish, right? And then, okay, now CLI got installed. AWS CLI. Previously, AWS is not recognized, right? Now let's see. Open AWS configure. So AWS configure. What is asking? Access key. Now AWS commands are getting identified because CLI got installed. So here I need to give access key. Here I need to give secret key. Here I need to give region. What is the region? AP minus south minus 1. Then it is asking for the output table, JSON, XML, whichever you want. That's it. Now from here, you can run the AWS commands now because it got authenticated. Same way you need to do it on the Linux also. Here we have installed AWS CLI, open next, we did it. But in Linux, couple of commands are there, we need to run it. Is it clear now how to configure? Don't worry, I'll give you one by one step. So here, now on Windows laptop, how do you configure? You understood, yes or no? So here we have on Windows, AWS CLI you have installed. From Windows point of view, is it clear? Online chitties, is it clear, Nana? Okay. So from Windows, it's clear. Now, I'll show you on the Linux. Do you have a Linux laptop? No. So for that, what I need to do? Launch EC2 instance, which is Linux. So what I do is, I launch a Linux EC2 instance. So this is the Linux EC2. In Linux EC2, what is the software that I need to install first? AWS CLI I need to install. AWS CLI. How? Need to run the 3 commands. But I'll show you once I'll launch the machine. So once you install AWS CLI, what do you need to configure? Keys. You need to configure the keys. How? With what command? AWS configure. So here I put the keys here. Guys, I have launched an EC2 instance and I want to access AWS services from this machine, and you have configured the keys. Is it recommended? Is it recommended to configure the keys on the EC2 instance? Because keys are stored locally on the machine. So what is the best way to use it now? See here, these keys, once I configure the keys, I can access AWS services. But I don't want to configure the keys here. So what this if I configure the keys on the machine, is a good way or bad way? Bad way. What is a good way? Roles. What's a good way? Roles. So configuring this one keys on the EC2 instance is the bad way. I would say it is a bad way. See, it's not good. Configuring keys on the instance is a what way? Bad way. What is good way? So I launched one more EC2 instance. Guys, I'll show you good way and I'll show you the bad way also. So I have Linux EC2 instance. And what I need to install here first? AWS CLI I need to install. Here, will you configure the keys now? Will you configure the keys? Answer is no. Don't configure the keys. Instead of that, what you need to create? IAM role. Okay, from that machine, so for role, you need to give the permissions, no? You need to attach the permissions. Now tell me from this machine, what kind of services that you want to access? EC2, S3. So what kind of permissions that you need to give for the role? EC2, S. If you want any other service, keep on adding it. And then from this, you can attach the role to the EC2 instance, log into it. Without the keys, you can access EC2 and S3. You all understood? Online, Anna, you all understood? Good way and bad way? On your Windows laptop, on your own laptop, will use good way or bad way? Good way. So good way meaning? Role. So create a role. Create a IAM role. Can you attach it to your Windows laptop? Huh? Array, this is your Windows laptop. How do you attach role? Huh? Is it possible? No. So on your Windows laptop, you should use good way or bad way? Bad way only. For that reason, I'm showing you bad way also, good way. Within AWS, good way, you need to use roles concept. Outside AWS, bad way only. There is no other way. Okay. So here is the bad way. So how to do the bad way? What I do? Launch EC2 instance and install AWS CLI. After that, what I need to do? Configure keys. What is the command to configure the keys? AWS configure. So once you configure the keys and execute few commands, will it work? Obviously, it will work. So that is the bad way. So what is the good way? So good way. So good way is what, Nana? Launch EC2 instance and install AWS CLI. After this, create and attach role to the EC2 instance and execute few sample commands without configuring keys. Understood? We'll create a role from CLI also. You can create role, no problem. See, Nana, whatever we do it on console, you can do even more on CLI. Everything you can do it on CLI. For everything you have the commands. Is it possible to remember all the commands? No. In real time, we'll use Google and then take the syntax out of it and then modify and we'll run the commands. Okay. Should we do this? So what's the first what? Which one will select? Good way or bad way? Bad way. So should we go and launch a EC2 instance and then configure it? Yes. Okay. Did I launch? No. Let's go and launch. Launch instance. So call it as AWS CLI demo. Which one? Red Hat. Edit. And I'm putting it in 1A. Existing group. And then go ahead and then launch. Launch. And I showed you how to install it on Windows. Now I'll show how to install it on the Linux. So it will take time to come up. So just now we have launched. Let's wait for a minute. And then now for the good way, what are the steps that you need to do for the good way? First, launch EC2 instance. Second one, install AWS CLI. Next, create a IAM role with what permissions? With EC2 and S3 policies, etc. Not only with that, you can do any kind of policy. After that, attach this role to the EC2 instance, and then log into the EC2 instance and run the CLI commands. Yes or no? Do you need to configure keys? You no need to configure keys because you are using role. Okay, let's go and log in. Okay, now. So EC2 minus user. What's the first command? Sudo minus yes. So how to install AWS CLI on your Linux? How? Go to the same thing and you have the 3 commands are there, no? So take the first command. If it is hard to select it, copy everything and put it in the notepad. So what is the first command it is doing? Curl is a command to use your HTTP command, HTTP URLs, and you are downloading AWS CLI zip file. You are downloading it. So let me download that. Okay. See here. Download. LS. Do you see? It's downloaded. Huh? So it is zip file. What we need to do now? Unzip it, no? Extract it, no? So what's the command now? Unzip. So go here and then unzip. Unzip is working. What it shows? Read the command, read the error. Command not found. What is it meaning? Unzip software, unzip package is not there. This is the problem when you're doing it manually. This is where Docker will come into place. Docker remove all the dependencies. I'm giving extra knowledge. Right? Dockers will remove the dependencies. So let's say, so why I'm going to Docker now? Okay, no. So now at the moment, unzip is not installed. So what we need to install the unzip. So what's the command to install? Yum install minus y. Which one? Unzip. Complete. So after that, what we need to do now? Unzip AWS CLI. You are extracting it. Unzip is done. Next, what's the command? Sudo .aws, because once it is unzip, .aws folder, in this .many current directory, AWS folder directory is there. Inside that installer script is there. It is now executing it. Now installation is done. So if you want to see whether AWS is installed or not, so you need to use AWS minus version. Now it says what? AWS not found, because AWS software is installed in which directory? USR local bin AWS. So I should not call AWS now. I should call it as USR local bin AWS. Then if I do minus version, AWS version 2 is installed. What is the backbone of AWS CLI? Python. So AWS CLI is developed in Python. That's why I said AWS and Python both are good partners. Yeah. You understood how to install AWS CLI on the Linux machine? Everyone. Okay, now AWS CLI got installed. So what I need to configure now? Keys. So what is the command to configure the keys now? AWS configure. But AWS will work for me here? No, what is here? user. So this entire thing AWS configure. Actually, those who know Linux, what they can do is they can go inside this directory and then run AWS commands, or you can create a soft link for it. So those who knows, configure. And now it is asking for what? Access key. So I need to provide the access key or not? So where is my access key? Where should I go? Where should I go? IAM. Guys, bear with me for a few more minutes. In IAM, so groups 2 are there. So I didn't delete it. So users, I have my user already. Where should I go? Security credentials. And then here I need to create a access keys again. For what purpose? CLI purpose. I understand. Next, create keys. So access key, paste it. Enter. Now it is asking for copy, paste it. Enter. Now region. What is the region? AP minus south minus 1. Okay, now what's the format? What are the 3 types of formats that AWS CLI provides? JSON, XML, and interview questions. Guys, separately, I'm not giving interview questions. If you follow my classes, those are all every day shootout round. My pains, everything is in interview questions only here. Okay. So now, which one is here? I'm going for table format. Now authentication is done. Is it clear how to install AWS CLI, how to configure on your Linux machines and Windows machines? On Windows also same thing. Yes or no, guys? On Windows machine, open command prompt. AWS is installed, no? So what you need to do? AWS configure, you need to do. Provide access key secret key, and from here also it will be authenticated. And now we need to run the few sample commands to run the CLI. So before I run, I told you the keys are stored locally on the machine. Should I show you where it is stored? Let's say you have configured the keys, some other person log into the machine, and simply what he do, see, cd slash dot AWS, no, cd, it is in the root directory, slash dot AWS meaning hidden directory. I went inside it, I do ls. What are the 2 files that we have? Configure. What is the command to see, read the content? Cat credentials. Oh, you see that access key, secret key? Easily visible. That is the reason why I said don't configure the keys on the machine. And instead of this, what is the concept that you need to use? Roles. What is the concept? Roles you need to use. So here I'm writing that command for you to cd, where nana? Root directory dot AWS, do ls, and cat credentials. Okay, so is it clear till here, everyone online? Now what I do is, from this machine, I'll run few sample commands. Okay, so what is the first thing that you want to run? Should we launch EC2 instance from CLI? How many steps are there to launch EC2 instance from console? 7 steps. There's so many things are there, no? Guys, in that 7 steps, in that whole page, few things are mandatory, few things are optional. Yes or no? Few things we select, few things we don't select it. Can you tell me which are mandatory things that you select when you're launching EC2 instance? Region, AMI, availability zone, key pair, security group. You understood? Volumes do you select? With a few things that will come by default. But if you require, can you select volumes also there? Yes. In the CLI also, you have the command to run. You can pass all the arguments, or you can pass only few arguments. So to make you easy, what I did was, I created a file for you with all the commands so that you can practice. Okay. Okay, Nana. So I'm telling you is a command. What first command to how to launch an EC2 instance from the CLI. What is this? This is AWS. Which service? EC2. And remember, in your certification questions in interview also, they will ask, they don't ask, can you give me the entire command how to launch EC2 instance? No. They will say, what is the command to launch an EC2 instance from CLI? Then you should say run minus instances. What's the command to launch an EC2 instance? Run minus instance, followed by all your parameters. What are the parameters? We need to give the image ID. Do you know how to select? You need to select image ID. Which image ID that we are using? Red Hat, no? So how do you know the image ID of Red Hat? See here. When you're launching, you're selecting browse more AMI, no? This is AMI. Are you using x86 or ARM? x86. So use this AMI ID. I don't know, that's the same AMI ID or different there. So I'm putting it here. Different. Count, how many machines? Instance type, which one? So here you need to put which one? 9 a.m. So it should be the same name actually. Is it capital letters or 9 a.m. batch? And which security group? Do you know how to get the security group ID? Yes, no, just go there. I'm showing you for security group. This is the ID, 2B3. Do you know how to get a subnet ID? I'll tell you. So go here while launching the instance. Come down, edit it. Do the subnet ID. Is 1A availability zone is associated to subnet 9CE. Subnet ID. Which one I have here? 91.6A. 91 is there. This subnet ID. Okay, 1B. So I have given only these mandatory things, Nana. Can you, like this, can you go ahead and then add volumes also? Can you add parameters of the volumes? So now you have a question, sir, how do I know all this information? So guys, go to Google here and go to Google and say, launch EC2 instance using AWS CLI. Do you see run instances is there? So you have a full documentation with the sample exam and CD. These are all the parameters that you have. For run instances, we have selected image ID, instance type, key name. So subnet ID, security group, we have said like this, you can select all the parameters. And if you want still an example out of it, so if you come down, there will be an example somewhere. You can use that examples. Do you see? Can you copy this and then modify according to your requirement? Yes, this is how you need to take it. So now I'm taking this example and I'm then running the command. Boom. What's the output? Table format. Do you see? So from here, so what is all the information, you will get it here. What is the IP address? So do you see? Now EC2 instance got launched or not? Yes. See, I go here. Now if I refresh it here, boom, do you see? The second machine got launched. Now it is in state, pending state, and that is the reason why it is showing here pending. So after some time, this will, if you refresh it, this is now running. Do you understood? With matter of second, we have launched the EC2 instance. So like this, you can run so many commands. For example, how to stop an EC2 instance. That's it. So EC2 is the service name and stop minus instance. If you want to stop, you need to have the instance ID or not. Put in the instance ID and it will stop. How to start? Start minus instances. How to terminate? Terminate minus instances and put the instance IDs here. It is very funny if I show you one by one. So now it is running. No, I'll take the instance ID and I'll stop it. See. Okay. I'll take this command. Go here. And then right click. Previously it was running. What is the current state? Stopping. So if I go to my console and if I refresh, do you see? Stop. Everything you can do it from the CLI. So you can start it, you can terminate it. And can you tell me what is this doing? It is creating tag for what? For the EC2 instance. So if you want to create the tag, this is the EC2 instance just now we have created, no? So replace the instance ID here. And what is the tag? Name, CLI demo, new. So if I run this, do I have any tag here on the machine? No tag. So if I run this, if I refresh, Do you see the tag now? So like this, everything you can do it from the CLI. What is it doing? How many volumes are there? It will describe for you. What is it doing? Tell me clearly. Online. Tell me clearly. What is it doing? Okay. Create volume is fine. Creating a volume of 10 GB in Mumbai region, 1A availability zone with GP2. So you know very well, to create a volume, what are the things that we need? Obviously, need to select the availability zone. Obviously, need to select the EBS volume type and the size you need to give. This one, attaching it. This one, detaching it. So you need to give the volume ID. This one, delete it. This one. If you want to create an image, you need to have instance ID. From where you are creating the image? EC2 instance. So this one, online. What is the meaning of deregister? Deleting an image. This one. What is the command to create a snapshot? Create minus snapshot. So while creating a snapshot, what you need to give? You need to give the volume ID or not? From volume only, you need to creating the snapshots. Okay. Don't see that. If you remember or not, I'll ask. Do you remember that URL? If you want to see the metadata from the CLI, I told you to sing that song. http://169.254 169.254/latest/meta minus data. So if you want to see from console, you can see it from the detail section. But if you want to see it from the CLI, you need to use the URL. So do you see this here? If you use this command, yeah, see now? Let's say now I'm on my Linux machine. I want to know the instance ID of this machine. How? Use this command at the end. Do you see here? Instance ID is there. Put it here at the end. And you'll get the instance ID here. Why this will be useful? Let's say developers are running some script inside the machine. And inside from the machine, they need to, in runtime, they need to fetch some details of the machine. Can you use this URL and fetch the information? Understand? So you need to use a little bit more scripting, Divya, then. So I'm just showing the baby steps of the CLI. If you need to know more and more, then you need to write little bit scripts. So Divya is asking, sir, now we are copying the instance ID from the CLI. So, but now I am copying instance ID from the console. But I don't have console access. I have only CLI access. How do I get my instance IDs? So I need to find out the command to list only the instance IDs of all. Like describe volumes are there, describe instances are there. All the instances will be listed. Take the ID of it. Super. Okay. So those are few things from the EC2. I have given only few things, but you can do a lot of things there. Let's say, for example, did I give you any command to create load balancer from the CLI? So do you know how to do it? How? Go back and then here, create load balancer AWS using CLI, right? Do you see? Create minus load balancer. And do you see the, if you come down, so we are almost done. So just, do you see that? Can you take this example and then modify accordingly? Guys, yes or no? See, AWS ELB, create load balancer name, listeners. You know how to create a load balancer from console. What are the parameters that you need to give? Give and do it. So you know it to, okay. So these are few commands. This is related to S3. Do you remember in S3 I told you URI. I told you where to use that URI. URI will be used in the CLI. I said URI will start with S3://. So Nana, here, what is this command is doing? Tell me. Creating a bucket. What is MB? Mahesh Babu. No, make bucket. What's that? Make bucket. So now previously you are using EC2. Now which service you are using here? S3. What command? MB. S3:// and your bucket name. And if you want to create the bucket in the region, select this. And what is MV? Move. So see here, if you don't have URI, that meaning a local file. And you're moving to the S3 bucket. Now tell me what is this command is doing? Moving my local file to S3. That meaning upload. That meaning upload. Very good. This one? Moving from one bucket to another bucket. Fantastic. Fantastic. This one? Moving S3 to local. That meaning download. So in S3, there is a file called text.txt. Now you're downloading as a test2.txt, downloading it. Bucket to local. So all these things I have given entire information. Can you tell me this one? This one, please. S3 bucket. So uploading to S3 except JPG files. So like this, I have given all few things. So like this, you can move or you can copy also. You can use multiple commands. And finally, you can remove the bucket. So I want you to practice all these things slowly. So as we have done EC2 and S3, that's I have given the CLI practice on EC2 and S3. Right, in real time, it can be any service. Is it clear? Will you able to do the practicals? So your practicals would be, I showed you the bad way, Nana. Whatever that I showed you is a bad way. Can you do good way? How? Launch EC2 instance and then attach the roles. Log into it. Do you do AWS configure? Not required. Directly run the commands. So your task here will be, so what is your task? You need to do the bad way. You need to do the good way. And from your laptop also. From your laptop also. From your laptop using command. And in your laptop, you need to use what? Bad way only. Is it clear? No, online. Chiti, is it clear? Super. So sorry, I took a few minutes, 6 minutes. So I would like to start the classes on time, but my room will be not available. And but please be on time. So when I'll be here on time, right? If there is a chance, I'll start immediately, right? So that we can skip this extra time. But is it fine? It's fine, no? Taking 10-15 minutes is fine. No problem, no? Online, is it fine, Chitis, for you? I understand there are working people where they need to move on. I understand, but for sure they might be having the recordings and all. Yeah, good. Take the screenshots. So you guys are learning and then doing a lot of practicals. Please complete all the practicals. A lot of practicals or not? Okay. And the next one. Guys, quickly see here. So in order to set up AWS CLI, how much hangama we did now? launching the Linux EC2 instance, configuring the keys, etc., etc. We did a lot of things or not. But if you want instant AWS CLI commands to run without launching the machine, yes. Do you see here we have Cloud Shell? Do you remember this? I told you. So if you click on it, automating instant AWS CLI will come here. You can run the CLI commands here also. But if you're a good experienced guy, and if you want just like that, you want to run some commands, you can utilize this. What is this called? Cloud Shell. So in overview, I gave this Cloud Shell. Or else, if you keep on, if you can write down, Cloud Shell is a user-based AWS CLI, browser-based AWS CLI. Okay. Good, Anna. So can I give the final CC for today, please? CC with smile online. Take it, Saurabh. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next service. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow. Don't miss the classes because you see how the services are getting covered now. So from tomorrow onwards, we mostly I'll talk about the new services. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys.